upset. Don't beg me. I say don't beg me. What's up, Jare, my people? It's your girl, Adeola. I'm really upset right now because I just realized that Mr. President has not been watching this show. Can you imagine? Did you guys see that media chat? Mr. President's media chat. Did you see? I mean, I know the audio was really bad on NTA. Oh my God, it was so bad. I mean, which is why I keep wondering what they are doing with the millions of naira that they are spending on NTA International. But that is not even why I'm upset, yo. I'm really upset because the man repeated so many mistakes that he made in the previous media chat. And remember my review of that media chat now, the one where I gave, in a gentle and friendly way. Yes, that I advised him on how to make it better the next time. Remember? Yes, episode 93. Thank you, Call it the Woe. If you're yet to see that episode, go and watch it. Even if the internet service is bad at Aso Rock, at least Dr. Ruben Abati or Dr. Donyo Kupe or even Dr. Reno Makri and what? That one is not a doctor. Oh yes, I heard that he's a pastor in real life. By the way, did he actually forge those documents? I've been hearing. Anyway, but one of them should have downloaded that episode and put it on a DVD. And they should have presented it to Mr. President as a Christmas gift. Shaking up. Do you guys know that Mr. President is still thinking that as long as Boko Haram is not operating in Abuja, that all is well?
Nobody talks about the successes, but the negative ones the issues. The Boko Haram attacks started from Abuja. This massive bombing started from the UN building here. If the security people have not been working hard, I don't think we would have been moving freely in Abuja. So they've been able to push this to almost at the fringes.
The fringes? What is the fringes? Seriously, what? Is that how he's describing Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa? Yeah, the places where they are practically killing people every day now. Is that how the fringes, Mr. President? Seriously?
They come and attack, they run back to Cameroon.
Really? So now Boko Haram lives in Cameroon. You see what I'm saying? But they don't kill people in Cameroon. No. They just come to Nigeria to kill people. Wait a minute. Is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria implying that our borders are not secured? I'm sorry. I thought they sealed the border with Cameroon just, recently, before his media chat. How come? Yawa. Another thing that pissed me off was how he addressed the Borno massacre, starting with the issue of the governor of Borno. I mean, you guys know that I've always warned you never to say any bad thing about this administration, and only good things, just like I do. You guys are my witness that I would never say anything bad about Mr. President or his administration. No, that is just not part of who I am. So, and I expect you guys to follow my example. So, Boko Haram killed more than 250 people in Borno alone at the beginning of February. And then on top of that, they've been killing people since then. There was a day that they killed more than 100 people in one village alone last week, before Mr. President's media chat. Now, these guys operated for 5 hours without any military interference. Even in the states where we don't have, state of emergency, if they are shooting people for 5 hours straight, policemen or soldiers should have showed up. Abi no be so? Unfortunately, the governor of Borno has not been watching this show. So instead of him to say good things to Mr. President, he went on national TV and said the truth. Oh my God!
Have we ever succeeded in thwarting any of their plans? They went to Kokonduga. They did what they wanted to do. They held sway for over 4 or 5 hours before they left. They were in Kauri. They went to Izge. And I don't blame the Nigerian military, honestly. We, the leaders, should be held responsible for a pillar of leadership.
Which is a no-no in the ears of Mr. President. Just praise him, tell him he's doing great. Then he will listen to you. But that governor did not do that.
In all fairness to officers and men of the Nigerian army and police, they are doing their best given the circumstances they have found themselves in. But honestly, the Boko Haram are better armed and better motivated than our own troops.
No, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You get what I'm saying? Mr. President was so upset, He expected the governor to say all is well and that the soldiers are winning, but no.
The issue of the governor of Borno State, the statement is a bit unfortunate because you don't expect a governor to make that kind of a statement. If the governor of Borno State felt that the Nigerian armed forces are not useful, they should tell Nigerians, I'll pull them out from Borno State for 1 month. Whether you will stay in that government house.
Did you hear that? No. I don't think that you guys understand the gravity, the enormity, and the magnitude of what Mr. President said. Imagine Barack Obama threatening to withdraw soldiers because one governor in the US complained that the help is not enough. Seriously, why is it that you would never hear such statements from presidents that are actually doing something? If you know what I mean. Yes, Jonathan is making it look as if he's doing them a favor in Borno by sending soldiers. Seriously, Mr. President, with due respect, you're not doing anybody any favor. That is your job as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. That is why you are getting paid taxpayers' money. Not just you, but all your officials. That is why you were elected by the people. That is why you are living in Aso Rock. It is for you to be able to lead us. Again, you didn't give any word of comfort for those who lost their loved ones in the massacre, just like you did not do in the previous media chat when 50 students were killed in Yobe. Remember, I talked about that. That was last year. 50 students were killed on the day of the media chat. And Mr. President didn't say anything about that. You keep telling people that you're working on it. Yeah, he's been saying that for years. I don't think that you understand that every day that you are working on it, innocent people are being killed. And the day after your media chat, 60 secondary school students were killed in their sleep. Many of them were burned to ashes. 60 sons of somebody. Some of them were actually the only child of their parents. To all the parents that are watching, just imagine sending your son to a boarding school to study and then getting a phone call that he's been killed by Boko Haram. After killing those 60 students, don't forget that for about 2 weeks now, they've kidnapped 20 girls from a village called Konduga in Borno. Until now, nobody knows their whereabouts. So after your media chat, Mr. President, they kidnapped more girls. Forget about the US. I've been asking myself, if 60 students were killed in 1 day in Ghana, is this the way Ghanaian president would react? You've not been acting like you care. Many people believe that they were taken as sex slaves. There's no way you can imagine what their families are going through right now. And for those of you who continually defend Mr. Jonathan, I wonder what you would say if one of those girls were to be your sister or one of those boys who were killed were to be your brother. Take a look at this picture. What did they do to deserve this? Unfortunately though, whenever we are not directly affected by something in Nigeria, we could care less. The question is, how many innocent young people have to die in Nigeria before we would demand that Mr. President do more than we're working on it? Like I've been saying, evil prevails majorly because good men don't do anything. But with everything going on, our president is bringing in world leaders to come and celebrate our centenary. To him, that is more important than securing the lives of his citizens. I don't understand that. Make no mistake, these children will not die in vain. Someday, their blood will cry out. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Moving on to Sudan. Now, this is a story that makes me really upset. And I wonder if the Chief Justice in Sudan has any decency. Do you know that a pregnant Ethiopian woman was looking for accommodation in Sudan last year when she was gang raped by 7 Sudanese men? 7 men on 1 woman. And the woman was 3 months pregnant too. They raped her. Anyway, the lady was discovered by a policeman. But because it happened on Eid al-Fitr, they refused to file the complaints on her behalf because it was the holidays. By the way, they didn't just sleep with her. They also videotaped how they raped her and they circulated it on the internet. So when the policemen in Sudan arrested these men, they caned them. Some of them got 100 lashes, some got 40 lashes, and then they let them go. This is the ridiculous thing. Do you know that they turned on the woman, as in the victim? They turned on her and arrested her. And then they charged her with adultery. I'm like, what? How could you do that? Someone who was gang raped by 7 men and now you're accusing her of adultery? Like, oh my God, what kind of country is this? And then they said she must be a prostitute for those men to rape her. I said, hey, so you have to be a prostitute now for people to rape you? Seriously, Sudan? Huh? In fact, some people in Sudan went to the ridiculous level of saying that these men were accidentally prescribed hallucinogenic drugs by a pharmacist, that's why they raped her. I'm like, whoa, please stop making excuses for this men. So all 7 of them got the same drug from their pharmacist. So they all hallucinated into the same building on that same day when that particular woman was there. I said waka to all of them that came up with that excuse. So as you know, adultery is punishable by death in Sudan, but she was able to convince the judge that she's divorced. So they said, okay, now that she's divorced, we can't really say it's adultery. So they said, you know what, let's charge her with indecent act. I said, hey, men, I'm sure there is no woman among all these people making a decision about this lady. Can you imagine? They want to charge her with indecent act. What is indecent in her looking for accommodation? What is indecent in what she did? Do you know that they've put her in jail since January 17th? Remember I told you that she was already 3 months pregnant before they raped her. Well, now she's heavily pregnant, about 9 months pregnant, and she's been sleeping on a concrete floor in a prison cell at a local police station in Sudan since January 17th. As we are speaking, this woman is still in prison. I mean, people who tried to bail her out on health grounds were refused. So what kind of country is that? Do you know that the Attorney General has denied her claims of rape? He's insisting that right now she is under investigation for other crimes. I keep wondering if this Attorney General has any daughter or any decency. Did I tell you that this lady we're talking about is 18 years old? Yes, 18. She's a teenager going through all this, heavily pregnant. Oh, on top of that, they also fined her 5,000 Sudanese pounds, which is almost $1,000. Yes! Now they are saying that they will put her in prison for like 1 to 2 years, and then after that they said they would deport her back to Ethiopia. I keep asking myself, why are Africans treating other Africans like animals? Seriously, Sudan, I mean, when will women have basic human rights? I cannot imagine such things happening in a country. No wonder their president is declared wanted. I heard that he's going to Congo or something. Can somebody please arrest al-Bashir wherever he is? By the way, what is the Ethiopian government doing about this woman? Are they helping her? You know what? While we're talking about Ethiopians being mistreated abroad, the truth is the Ethiopian government also treats many of its own citizens worse, especially when it comes to journalists who are saying the truth. Have you guys heard about that jailed Ethiopian journalist, Wopshet Tai? I mean, he's just one of many. There's also Eskinda Nega, remember the one who was sentenced to 18 years in prison, as well as Riot Alemu, just to name a few of Ethiopian journalists that are in prison right now. But Taye is now regarded as a terrorist in Ethiopia just because he wrote articles critical of the ruling party's performance and articles about repression of democratic rights. So now he's serving 14 years in prison. What? I mean, all because the man is doing his job? That makes no sense. And you know, it makes me think that if I was doing this program in Ethiopia, I'll probably be considered a terrorist too. Yeah, me and you, Kolilowo, yes, because we are in this together. No, don't give me that look. Anyway, this Ethiopian journalist has received Human Rights Watch Hellman Award as well as the CNN Free Press Africa Award. Now, according to his wife, and especially through a letter that he managed to smuggle out of prison, his health is deteriorating, and the man revealed that he is suffering from a kidney infection due to unsanitary water at the distant prison that he was transferred to nearly a year ago. You know, they've been transferring him from one prison to another to prevent his family from contacting him. And despite his medical needs, you know, he has been denied all kinds of medical care till now. Imagine having kidney infection for more than a year without treatment, and all because he was doing his job. Several international human rights organizations have tried to convince the Ethiopian government to release this man, including the African Union, the United Nations, the Red Cross, the Committee to Protect Journalists. You know, none of them has been successful, which is why I said the Ethiopian government also needs to rethink how it's treating its own people. Well, tomorrow, the 2nd of March, happened to be Taye's birthday. He's gonna turn 36 tomorrow, and knowing you guys, I'm sure that you will all be willing to put a smile on his face. Just imagine how he would feel if he hears that you and you and you, that you all wished him a happy birthday on Twitter or Facebook. So please take a minute and do that. His wife would see all the tweets if you put the right hashtags, and she will be able to tell him that, guess what? People are wishing you happy birthday even though they don't know you. You know, you can write something like happy birthday to the imprisoned Ethiopian journalist and put his name. And please make sure that you hashtag the Ethiopian foreign minister. Yes, you can just copy what I have on the screen, or you can do it your own way, so long as you hashtag Ethiopia and the foreign minister, and you also include the journalist's name. So please take a minute and wish him a happy birthday on Twitter or Facebook, so that he knows that people will care about him. You never know, maybe this will get the attention of the Ethiopian government and they would release him. They always feel embarrassed that people from outside their country are paying attention to what is going on. So please take a minute, wish this man a happy birthday, and tell the Ethiopian government to release him. Thank you so much. And guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Moving on to Malawi, 14 prostitutes, yes, have sued the government for making them do HIV tests by force. I'm telling you, they are so upset. Right now, they are suing for damages. Yes, call it the woe. I'm not talking about Dr. Damages now, as in real damages. By the way, you know, last Wednesday was Dr. Damages' birthday. Happy birthday, my brother. You want me to? I can't sing for him because he doesn't like my singing. Anyway, back to Malawi and you know the prostitutes. Yes, it was in 2009 that the policemen raided their joint and arrested 14 of them, and then they hauled them to a government hospital for HIV tests without their consent. Not only that, the results of the test were disclosed in an open court. Unfortunately for these women, all 14 of them, you know, tested positive. 2 years later was when they decided to sue the government for making them do the test, and because the court is yet to give them a hearing date, now they're suing the government again. I mean, of course, the government shouldn't force people to do HIV tests without their consent. Yeah, but you know what I don't understand is why they waited for 2 years to sue the government. I mean, it's either their customers have been avoiding them since the court made it known that they are HIV positive, or maybe they are broke and now they're trying to get money from the government by suing the government. All I know is that they're now demanding for a lot of money, even though they're yet to announce how much. But you know, I've been thinking that, these women, they must be cruel. No, these women, yes, because do you know how many men that they've transferred the disease to? You get what I'm saying? Because the court actually charged them with offering sexual services while carrying HIV. They never said they use protection when doing their business. Yes, so you can only imagine. You get what I'm saying? And they didn't just transmit the disease to these customers. They actually sold the disease to them. Some of them paid a lot of money. They didn't know they were buying HIV. You get what I'm saying? You know, I've been telling you guys, stop doing, you're kiss with someone that you're not married to. Someone that is not your wife or your husband. My brothers, you see, some of these men may be married though. So it's possible that they bought the HIV and they went and transferred it to their wives at home. Hey, yeah, you see, women, be sure of the man you are married to. You see, this is what is happening. This world is coming to an end. So far, the court is yet to grant them a hearing date. And meanwhile, health officials say HIV prevalence among prostitutes in Malawi is about 70 to 80%. That means 8 out of every 10 prostitutes in Malawi are HIV positive. In the meantime, I like to advise all Malawian men, to abstain from, yes, you get what I'm saying. Stay faithful to your wives. Don't go and look for trouble. You just never know. You never know because they don't write it on the forehead. I also like to urge the Malawian government to please keep giving these women treatment. I mean, it's possible that they can't afford it, but hopefully the government would be generous because it's very expensive to treat HIV. Official statistics show that about 10% of the country's 15 million people are now infected with HIV. Now, there has been numerous improvements in treatment. In 2004, only 5,000 people had access to antiretrovirals, but a program to make them free has raised the number of Malawians receiving treatment to half a million people are now receiving treatment in Malawi. That's kudos to the Malawian government for doing that. Now, if these ladies win the case, of course, I would let you know. And guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Now, can you guys believe that I was not invited to Zimbabwe for Mugabe's 90th birthday? I was like, what? See me, see trouble. Ha! You know, at first I was really upset. I said, how could you not invite me? And then I got a message from Mr. Mugabe himself, apologizing and begging me. Yes, he said that I was actually the first guest on his list, but his personal assistant made a mistake and he, accidentally omitted my name. So I said, what else can I say now if Mugabe himself is apologizing? So I said, it's okay, Mr. Robert, apology accepted. But I'm telling you guys, that party was the bomb. I mean, let me say it like Sudia, that party. That party was the bomb. People were wearing Mugabe's print on the call it the war. Why now? Don't you have other pictures? And why do you have to put up this one? I know you like things like that. He said, you can't see a lady's behind without highlighting. Find other photos, Ojade. Yes, this is better. The cake alone weighed 90 pounds. Ooh, oh my God. Have you ever seen anything like that? 90 pounds. That is to match his age, by the way. You know the baked one that looked like him? Yes, this is a cake. I'm telling you. Hey, Kai. And then they released 90 balloons. You know, this is for long life. But you know what really pissed me off? Was that they also killed 90 cows. I said, what kind of party is that now? 90 cows, how bad? Are you feeding the whole country? And why be so cruel as to end the lives of 90 innocent cows in one day? That is just nasty. I'm telling you, they spent 600,000 pounds on one man's birthday party. How much is that in dollars? You see? What about Naira? How much is that in Naira? Of course. Yes. This is the same country where banks were running out of cash. 600,000 pounds. Remember that a lot of people could not celebrate Christmas and New Year because there was no money for them to withdraw from their banks. In fact, I recently told you guys that they are now introducing new currencies just so that they would have some kind of money circulating. Where did Mugabe find this 600,000 pounds to lavish on a birthday party? You know what he said in his speech? He said he feels like a 9-year-old. Like a 9-year-old. It is well. By the way, the people presented him with a birthday present. You know what it was? A throne. A big throne. You know, it's one big chair like this. I mean, one big throne like this. I said, finally, someone has given him what he's been wanting all his life. So now let's hope that he will be willing to let someone else step in as soon as his tenure is over. You get what I'm saying? But you know, what do I know? I'm just keeping it real. My sisters, you know that I spend a lot of time trying to defend the rights of women and to protect, the dignity of the female species on this show. But some of you are making it really hard. Just imagine that in Ghana, 3 female university students who should know better. Can you imagine? They went to Accra Mall, which is not too far from their campus, and then guess what they did? They stole underwear. I said, why would you steal underwear? Kai, fine, babe, stealing G-string. Seriously, some things are just not cool at all, especially if you're like a hot baby. Having said all that, I need to let you guys know that I do not appreciate how these 3 ladies in Ghana were treated at all. Yes, do you guys know that they were made to crawl on their knees from that shop where they stole the underwear all the way to the exit of the mall? Take a look. It's a good distance that took them more than 5 minutes. Imagine crawling on your knees for 5 minutes. Yes, tell me if you won't feel anything. Seriously, if you catch someone stealing in a country that has laws, we're talking about Ghana. He or she is still presumed not guilty until pronounced so by the court of law. So they were not supposed to be handled that way. The proper thing to do is to hand them over to the police. Just like, that famous actress was handed over to the police. She was not told to crawl on her knees in London when they said that she stole the bracelet. So why subject these ladies to this inhumane treatment? And on top of that, that the video went viral. So really, this is very humiliating because all over the world, people got to see their faces. How much is the underwear that this lady stole? How much? Tell me, I will pay for it right here on this show. I have $1. $1.25. What do you have change? Let's save these girls from this humiliation. Why are you disgracing these girls like that? Now seriously, we Africans need to stop jungle justice when we have the police. Although I do understand that many of our policemen are known for taking bribes and letting people go. All I know is the lawyer and the member of parliament for Abokuma West, that is Osula Owufu Ekofo, has lambasted the security officers who supervised this incident. My Ghanaian friend told me that this is now a question of morals versus legality. Now, having said all that, when I heard the story, my first reaction was like, thank God, oh, thank God that this did not happen in Nigeria. No offense, my Ghanaian people, but let me tell you, if this were to be in Nigeria, the first thing they would do to these ladies would be to strip them naked. Yes, no, seriously. Worst forms of instant justice have been meted out to people suspected of crime, even if it's not true. People are set on fire in the market. Many are beaten mercilessly, even lynched. I'm sure you all heard about the Alu 4 who were lynched, and they were university students. Can you imagine? I think this brings about the question of jungle justice in Africa, especially in Nigeria. I remember a situation where a lady was stripped naked. Apologies that you have to see photo like this, but this is the reality. This woman was accused of stealing a cell phone, and because of that, look at what they are doing to her. And I don't know why some men are on the street when they should be in the psychiatric hospital. By the way, people involved in jungle justice, they need to remember that someday they may be hunted down and they will have to pay for it. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Now, speaking of jungle justice, well, I've got good news. You guys remember the Ejigbo sodomy and torture case that I talked about a few weeks ago? Remember? Well, I'm glad to tell you guys that the perpetrators have been arrested. Yes, these are the people, these are their faces. Now, this makes me really glad because, for one, others who are doing such things will be afraid of what could happen to them as well. And also, these men will no longer be able to do this same thing to other women. So I'm so glad that they've been arrested and they are being paraded. I just hope that justice actually prevails because, if they know somebody, they can still buy their way out. Once again, kudos to Dr. Joe Odumake. Thank you so much, Ma, for all your role in ensuring that justice prevails in this matter. This woman has really tried. And thanks to all of you guys who shared the video on your social media platforms. You all made it impossible for government officials to ignore the case. It was because you were sharing it. That's why they went after the perpetrators. I honestly wish that the woman who was tortured, Juliana, I wish she could be brought back to life, but it's so unfortunate. So please, before you take part in a jungle justice, my people, think twice about the fact that an innocent life may be lost. I'm just keeping it real. Now, just to follow up, last week I talked about a woman who has breast cancer in Nigeria, and the doctor has been giving her only painkillers because there's no money for chemotherapy and everything else that they have to do. Well, I spoke with her husband this week, and he told me that she's still not getting the needed treatment because all they've raised so far, as of last week Wednesday, was 120,000 naira out of 3.6 million naira. That's like nothing. Again, this woman is dying without the needed treatment, and she's only 30 years old. So please help save her life. She has 2 young children and her husband is presently in disarray. He doesn't even know how to handle himself anymore. You can donate towards her treatment from anywhere in the world. You can wire the money to this bank account that I got directly from the husband. I don't think that this is a scam, especially after seeing the video. If you want to know how bad it is, please watch last week's episode where I showed a video of the lady in the hospital and her husband. So please, if you can donate, please, nothing is too small. One thing that I know is when you give, somehow it will come back to you. And guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Alright, y'all, it's been real, and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Until next week, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace out.
Welcome to Forstview Luxury Hotel. At Forstview Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit Forstview Luxury Hotel. We are located at number 1 Adeola Mishile off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin Festac, Lagos. For more information or reservation, please call us on 08075787135 or 08099900601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.forceviewhotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. Forstview Luxury Hotel. Experience the home of comfort. They come.